Yo, what's up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing Nintendo rumors and predictions when it comes to E3 2019. Now, I already had a video talking about why I think Nintendo could have their best E3 presentation since 2014 when it comes to the hype factor. So make sure you guys check out that video. But in this one here, we're going to be talking about the rumors that have went down, not the fake ones or the BS ones, but the ones that are actually maybe somewhat believable, and also the predictions for the show. So let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. Starting off with the rumors here first. So there is two rumors that caught my eye, and one of them was that Nintendo's presentation at E3 is going to be approximately 45 minutes long. Now, why is this significant? Well, 45 minutes is a ton of time to go over various different games and information, right? Because you have to remember, Nintendo doesn't do a live show where you have people switching and you're bringing down a car from the ceiling and all this different stuff that you're moving from one area to the next area. They just basically do an edited, clean presentation to where you can cut down time. So I think that a 45-minute presentation is going to give you plenty of time to go over so many different games. Now, one thing that people are kind of scared about, even when they talk about, oh, it's 45 minutes, is, well, are they going to spend all that time on like one game or half of that time like they did last year with Super Smash Bros? But I don't think that's going to be the case. And let me give you a few reasons why. Well, one, we've had 2 directs already for Pokemon, so we can kind of get a lot of that information out of the way. Then also Super Mario Maker 2. So what's the point of doing that if you're going to spend like a bunch of time on one of them? Well, why even have those direct presentations beforehand? Obviously, you're going to want to spread things out. You're going to want to spread the love. And they got the feedback from last year's show. But also last year, 2018, they didn't have anywhere near as many games as this year. It's almost as if they have too many games for this year. So people are saying, okay, well, something going to get delayed or something like that. So I don't think so. At least a lot of the heavy hitters, probably none of those are going to get delayed. So Nintendo has a ton of games to go over, a ton of games to talk about. And I'm pretty sure they're going to want to spread out the love and talk about them and also show them off at the treehouse as well. Now, moving on to the next rumor here, there is something going around that Banjo and Kazooie will be announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at E3 2019. Now, just to let you guys know, if you're curious about who I think is going to be the next announced character at E3 and who the rest of the DLC fighters will be in the first season of DLC, then you guys can check out my videos on the channel. I already have plenty of content on that. Now, getting into this rumor here with Banjo and Kazooie, do I think it can happen? Yeah, sure it could happen. I was the one that said, nope, Joker can't come in when people were saying, Joker, maybe Joker's going to be in Super Smash Bros. I was like saying, no way, that's not going to be there. And bam, guess what? You never saw it coming, right? Joker was announced for Super Smash Bros. So, I mean, you're not going to fool me again here, Nintendo. Obviously, they're going for shock value character picks here. The character necessarily doesn't have to be currently on the platform when it comes to Nintendo Switch. They're looking to sell as many copies of Super Smash Bros. As possible and bring as much buzz and hype to the game. So could a character that is a Microsoft-owned IP at this point be in Super Smash Bros.? Absolutely. Could Banjo-Kazooie be that character because Banjo was a fixture on the Nintendo 64 in the heyday of that system? Absolutely. Rare used to be owned by Nintendo as well. So yeah, definitely. And if you look at the relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo, that's a pretty good relationship as well. They already have 2 games that are kind of dominating the eShop charts on the Nintendo Switch at this point with Cuphead and Minecraft. So I don't think it's really going to be too much out of Nintendo's way to sit there and say, you know, we might want to put a Banjo-Kazooie in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we'll see about that one. But once again, I don't think it's going to happen. Personally, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, you know, but I'm not saying that it couldn't happen or it won't be the character revealed. I do think that there might be some other characters. And like I said, check out my links in the description. There will be videos where I've already done on that if you want to know more of my thoughts on who the next character is and who the rest of the fighters will be in that first challenger pack. So let's go ahead and move on to predictions. This is something that I haven't really done, and I promised you guys that I would get a nice prediction video for you guys. So here it is. So let's go ahead and start off with my first prediction for Nintendo's E3 Direct. Well, I think that there's going to be a few different resurrections, or at least a resurrection or 2. I shouldn't say few, that's giving Nintendo too much credit here. So there's going to be a resurrection of a classic IP. So something that we haven't seen in at least a decade, right? So something like a Kid Icarus, even though that's not a decade, but you guys know what I mean, right? There's been barely any games in the past 30 years, right? We've got like one in 2011. It had already been a while since we'd seen the last game. They were like on the Game Boy. So I think something like Kid Icarus could be resurrected. Maybe a Golden Sun game. We haven't seen that in a while. We could potentially see something like Bots and Kaitos. We could see F-Zero. I think Nintendo's going to pick one from their catalog of like the GameCube or even before then and resurrect that on the Nintendo Switch. And that would be absolutely amazing if they did so. And I've already made videos talking about that, but I think that that's going to be one of the predictions that we are going to see. Now, another prediction that I think that we're going to see is the next Fighters Pass character, which I've talked about before. I think E3 is always a big stage for them to talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a lot of the different Smash Bros. Players, and people who cover Smash Bros. Like crazy always are tuning into E3 for different various Smash Bros. News, especially after last year. So I definitely think with the tournament going on as well, maybe they announce a character at that tournament. Maybe there's something there, or maybe they hold on to it when it comes to their direct at E3 presentation. But either way, that's going to be super fun seeing if there's anything and what they announce, because after Joker, like I said, pretty much anybody can get in, with some exceptions here and there. Like you ain't seeing Goku or anything like that. So I do feel that that is going to be something that we do see. Now, another thing that I think that we're going to see is another Platinum Games IP outside of Astral Chain and outside of Bayonetta 3. I think that there might be something else that they tease from Platinum Games at E3, and that's crazy, right? It's like, wait a minute, we're already getting Astral Chain this year in August, and then we have Bayonetta 3 that's maybe coming out next year, early next year. Why would they kind of overload with things? Well, I've been hearing some things here and there, and it does seem like maybe there might be something else for us when it comes to Platinum Games. Now, whether they announce this at the E3 Direct or they announce it at another Nintendo Direct, like Astral Chain was originally announced in the February Direct, who knows? But I'm going to make a prediction that we might see their next game right there. Now, another prediction that I have is some type, at least in terms of types, Western games. I would say 3 to 4 big Western games. There's been some rumors going around with The Witcher and stuff like that. I think we're going to see a game like The Witcher. I think we're going to see a game like Destiny or other bigger name games come over to Nintendo Switch. Maybe even if it's like the first one in the series and not the second one, maybe it's not the most up-to-date game, but some of those past AAA games or even current gen AAA games come over to Nintendo Switch. Maybe they announce a few of those, because every year they always do that, right? Every year we always have that to where we see that from Nintendo where they say, okay, well, this game is coming, and everyone's like, wait a minute, what? That game's coming? Like, for example, like Civilization 6, like, it's like, wait a minute, hold up, Civilization 6, why is that game coming over? And people liked it on the Switch, or even something like Diablo 3, stuff like that. I think that Nintendo's definitely going to bring some of that heat towards this year's E3. Now, another prediction that I have, and this one is a crazy prediction, and I talked about it on my Square Enix one, but I think that we are going to see quite the number of Square Enix titles, and I think that finally, this might be the show. This might be it, where Nintendo and Square Enix work together to resurrect the two classics, to resurrect two games that they know people want to see. And these two games are Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG, and I'm thinking both of them. I think Nintendo is going to have a hand in resurrecting Chrono Trigger in some way, shape, or form. And I also think that Nintendo and Square Enix are going to work together to bring back Super Mario RPG in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not talking about on like the Super Nintendo Classic, the vanilla game. I'm talking about new games in these franchises, new games that kind of push what's going forward with these two. So I'm hoping, I'm thinking, and I'm predicting that that is going to happen at E3 2019. So we are going to see some Square Enix love on the Nintendo Switch. I also think that they are going to show off some of the other stuff. So maybe even like the Secret of Mana remake, that was on PS4 and PS Vita, maybe that comes over as well. Also Secret of Mana Collection, I think that's going to be at the Square Enix show. Maybe Nintendo also puts it in a sizzle reel or something like that, because people have been wanting that game for years now at this point. So I think that's going to be it as well. And lastly here, guys, for my final prediction, we're going to talk a little bit about Nintendo Online. Do I think that they're going to fix everything with the system? No, probably not. They're not going to fix all the different issues with the Nintendo Switch Online when it comes to voice chat, no messaging and all that. But do I think that we could be getting, finally, some themes and some folders? I do think that E3 2019 will finally be that time that we do get themes and folders, only because Nintendo can tie it in to Animal Crossing. That's the only reason why I think that it's going to be coming at E3, that they're going to tie it into Animal Crossing, and that's going to be the first game where you can purchase different themes to decorate your Nintendo Switch, and then they will roll out other game themes and roll out other stuff after that. I think it's going to be a monetization thing that they're going to reveal with Animal Crossing, with some of these bigger games like Link's Awakening and all that, and then that's when we'll finally be able to buy themes and have folders on our system. And I feel that will be revealed at E3 2019 with Animal Crossing or with the game. Like, hey, look at this theme that you get when you do this or when you do that, or you can purchase it for this reduced price, or when you have the Nintendo Switch Online, you get it for this. So I do think that that's going to happen. And I also feel that E3 2019 could be when Nintendo finally drops the Super Nintendo system for the Nintendo Switch Online. Maybe they do Nintendo games and they do Super Nintendo games for us. So those are my predictions when it comes down to it. I know some of them are a bit, lofty when it comes to things, but I think at the same time, I've been pretty realistic with a lot of my expectations in terms of what I think is going to happen, and also some of my predictions, what I feel Nintendo could announce, and also my own personal, okay, I hope this gets announced as well. So what are you guys' predictions for Nintendo's E3 2019 Direct? What do you think they're going to reveal? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go to check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.